Hey guys, welcome back for another review. This time I'll be doing Guardian. Canada's equivalent to Captain America. A little backstory on the figure. His real name is Dr. James McDonald Hudson. He worked for a company called Amcan Oil. Or not exactly that, I don't think. But anyways. He developed a suit you see before you to help with mining of oil, well, searching for oil deposits, so it's safer for the people. Then once he found out the company was actually going to use it for a weapon, he stole the suit's helmet, and upon doing this, Heather McNeil, as she was called before, agreed with his decision, so left with him, and they sought help from the Canadian government, which they received, and later down the road formed Alpha Flight. Now, there is some speculation that when the Collective came, he was killed off, or a lot of the Alpha Flight was killed off, except for Sasquatch. Except there's two graphic novels out there that kind of contradict this. One of them being Alpha Flight, You've Got to Be Kidding Me, Volume 1. Let's try and get some of the figures in here, or characters. Nemesis, Major Maple Leaf, Yukon Jack, that old guy you see there is Centennial, and this little cutie is Puck 2, with Sasquatch right there. In this comic book, Alpha Flight or James Hudson Alpha Flight, which consists of Aurora, North Star, Snowbird, Shaman, Puck, and Guardian himself, and Vindicator, Heather Hudson, were captured by an alien race known as the Ploducks, and their genetic template was used with the genetic template of the Ploducks to create exact duplicates of Alpha Flight. They had a lot of these templates, and there's thousands of Plodex eggs that they were going to put them on, and it would have been just a disaster. So what ended up happening was the new Alpha Flight that I just showed you, these guys here, they battled this duplicate Alpha Flight, and then eventually the original Alpha Flight, which was held captive, came back and helped them. Now, like I said before, they saw so many Plodex eggs, about 1,000 of them, and Alpha Flight decided it was best to bring them back to their home planet. So that's what they did. The original Alpha Flight left to the Plodex home planet, leaving Sasquatch behind with the new Alpha Flight. Now, in the second graphic novel, called Alpha Flight Waxing Poetic, you can see them all there. There's the originals, the new guys. In that graphic novel, Flashback comes back. He's from Omega Flight, the evil version, and asks Sasquatch for his help in preventing his death. So after a long conversation, Sasquatch figures out if we do this, they might be able to save Guardian before he died from his when he went to New York to work for, I forget the guy's name. I think it's Jerome or Jeremy something. I'll probably put a link in the sidebar, or a description in the sidebar about that. So anyways, so Sasquatch and his team of Alpha Flight try and prevent his death. They mess with the timeline very, very badly. I'm not going to spoil it for you if any of you guys read the comics of Alpha Flight. It's weird, I'll put it that way. But anyway, after messing the timeline, Sasquatch says this is enough. He goes back in time. Oh, by the way they can go back in time, though, is if Nemesis kills him. Nemesis' sword has magical properties. that one of which is time travel. Or time displacement. Anyways, so Sasquatch kills himself, goes back in time to when Alpha Flight is fighting Omega Flight in New York. Sasquatch takes Shaman and says, hey, I messed up the timeline, will you help me? So Shaman does. Everything's reverted back to normal, except this time when Flashback comes to Sasquatch for help, it's different. Flashback is saying, thank you, and he gives him, Flashback gives him a satchel from Shaman. And so, back at their base, they open the satchel, and out pops the time-displaced Alpha Flight from when they were fighting Omega Flight. Now, from what I believe, it was that Alpha Flight, the time-displaced Alpha Flight, that was killed by the Collective. Because the Alpha Flight that went to the home planet of the Plodex, I believe is still going or coming back. Now, I'm not sure how long from the Waxing Poetic to the Collective. I'm not sure how big of a time gap that is. So I've been trying to find it, and I can't exactly find it. So, but that's what I believe, and that's what actually some websites, some articles I've been reading say as well. That the Alpha Flight that was killed by the Collective is not actually the real Alpha Flight, just the time-displaced versions. Anyways, enough talking. Let's get to the figure. The figure itself is very nice. And you got the red and the white and the maple leaf. You know, just like the Canadian flag. The articulation on the figure is what you'd expect from a Marvel Legends. It's got the head, ball hinge jointed and ball jointed. It's got the joint at the arms right here. He's also got the, I'm going to call it the shoulder blade movement. As you can see there, it can go back and forth. Got the biswept swivel, 2 joints at the elbow, a swivel at the forearm, hinge at the waist, and articulated fingers. Not individual though. He's got the mid-torso, so he can do his daily crunches. Swivel at the waist, and the ball joint at the upper leg, so it can go up and down, in and out. Upper thigh swivel, 2 joints at the knee, as you can see. Bring it closer for a bit. It's got a hinged ankle, as well as side-to-side movement, then hinged toe. So all in all, you can get some good poses out of this figure. There we go. Size comparison. We'll bring in Universe Guardian. So standard 6-inch size for him, or 15 centimeters. Now the color scheme on the Marvel Universe I prefer is much better than the color scheme on the Marvel Legends. As you can see, the Universe figure is more of a metallic color, metallic red, and the white's a little darker as compared to this one, with some gray, where this one has white and some light blue. But not a bad figure at all. This is one of the Hasbro releases, so this body mold has been used lots. Now, if you're Canadian, as I am, and you like Marvel, and you love Alpha Flight, you should get this figure. If you're Canadian, you gotta get this figure. Or, even if you're not, but you like Alpha Flight, this is a good figure to have. I'm really glad they released a Guardian figure. And one of my favorite displays I've had, of course, is these two guys standing side by side. And yes, I know, this is the ultimate Captain America. But, oh well. It's one of my favorite displays to have up. So there you have it, on Guardian. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll be back for another one. So with that, guys, take care.